Zeke.
Yep.
You like our glasses, right?
Sure.
You like me involving you in the ads where you weren't involved in the ads before, do you?
Sometimes.
Somebody said to me that they felt, it was actually my mom. I'm not going to lie. My mom said, Zeke sounds like he wants to talk more in the ads. And I said, no, Mom, he does not. For my mom that might accidentally hit the podcast like she did before. She doesn't actively listen, but she goes, honey, it just popped up. And then I hit play and I could hear you and Zeke talking. My mom does not sound New York. But anyways, if my mom is listening, Zeke, do you like doing the ads? You can be honest.
37% on those.
I know you like doing the Action 24/7 one. The other two you let me run with. So
it's mainly just because when I listen to the show and then you go into the whole spiel of the ads, it's a lot of lengthy John time. And, especially if it's in the mornings, I'm liable to doze off and, not make it to work.
You are like the only one who says my voice puts him to sleep. If my voice puts you to sleep, let me know. This is actual feedback. I will do what I can to be better. Reach out to our friends at distilleryproducts.com if you want to get the best laser etch glassware at the best prices. They have all sorts of good stuff there. They have flasks and bar tools and all sorts of cool stuff there too. Carson, Janie, Vicky, it is a family-run operation, and they got the best stuff. I'm happy to get you in touch with them. Reach out to me. I would love to get you in touch with the folks at distilleryproducts.com. Also, make sure to go to premiumbarproducts.com. That is their sister site. It's where you can get the official Dad's Drinking Bourbon Glencairn. And hot off the presses, you can now get a Dad's Drinking Bourbon Kenzie glass at premiumbarproducts.com. The seasons are changing. It's turning into fall. That is like a big thing for me to admit. It's getting a little bit nippy at night, and it's time to sit around the fire. It's time to go camping, but it is dad season year long at orcacoolers.com. If you use code dad season, they will take 20% off your order. They are starting to get the fall tumblers in. You still need coolers, tumblers, all that kind of stuff when you go camping, which is what I love to do in the fall. I love to go up in the mountains, go camping. Those Orca coolers are roto molded. They are American made. They keep your stuff ice cold for like 3 to 5 days. So check them out at orcacoolers.com. Go ahead, use code DADSEASON. You will save 20% on your order and you will be happy you did it. Last but not least, the ad that I saved Zeke Baker for, action247.com. And if you use code DADS100, they will match your first deposit up to $400. That's a crap ton of money, Zeke Baker.
Just figure out the right games to bet on.
Well, I want to let everybody know this week, Titans football is back. Last week could have gone a little bit better for the Titans. Kyler just went to town. When you got a name like Kyler, you better be able to ball, because that is a name that you got to back up. And Kyler Murray from the Arizona Cardinals just beat up on the Titans. If you bet $1 on the Titans, you get a $10 free bet if they beat the Seahawks on Sunday. Don't forget about baseball right now. There's giveaways, guest pickers, live events, all sorts of stuff. Check out Action 24/7 on Instagram and social media. But one thing that Zeke and I have been doing that's been a little fun, we've been doing a pick'em challenge. Now, last week, Zeke had Oregon, and so he won that game. They beat Ohio State. The other one, Iowa State versus Iowa, I took that. Last but not least was Stanford versus USC. Zeke took that game as Stanford won 42-28 against USC. So Zeke is up 2-1. So the final score right now. So at the end of the week, Zeke is 4-2 and I am 3-3. Zeke, we are picking 3 games right now. Stanford, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is being given 11.
Vandy's getting 11, but Stanford's coming off the win. They got to come back east. It's really hard to bet on Vandy. I'll take Stanford.
I am with you. I am going to take Stanford on that as well. Next one. This is going to be a tough game. Auburn versus Penn State. Penn State is -6. So Auburn is getting the 6 points.
Where are they playing?
Penn State.
Oof. The West has not looked good other than Bama this year at all. I'll go Penn State.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with you. I need to try to find a third game that we might disagree on because I need to come back. South Carolina versus Georgia. Georgia is -31. So is Zeke going to bet against the Dogs? That's what I want to know.
Where is it played?
It's in Georgia. It's in Athens.
That helps. I still hate South Carolina. I still hate Spurrier, and we won't cover 31.
Damn it.
I'm telling you, I went to school there, son. I live the pain. We ain't covering 31.
All right, well, I'm with you on South Carolina. So this is not going to move at all this week. This is a bummer of a week, everyone, because Zeke and I have the same exact picks.
This is what happens when you on John's week to pick the games.
Well, this is what happens when I am research. Like, this should be your job. You should have picked the games because I'm researching the whiskey. I'm editing the show. I'm doing all the, like, will you just look up the games each week?
I mean, you've never asked me to until now.
I know. So right now I'm asking you, will you look up the games for next week?
Yeah, I'll be like the bear guy on ESPN.
But will you tell me like a day in advance so that I can...
Straight off the cuff.
Well, then, okay, you're not picking the games anymore. I will give you the games a day in advance. I'll be more prepared here.
There's not that much thought that goes into this. You hear two teams, you hear a spread, you hear where they play, and you go with your gut instinct.
You normally like want to know what the freaking weather is like. Like, is the wind coming from the northwest? Like, it matters?
Only for the Miami-Bama game, if it was in Miami when the hurricane might have been hitting, because that could have affected things.
Well, the hurricane wasn't hitting because Bama destroyed them.
Yeah, it was not all about the U. It was all about the A. Oof.
Tide rolled in. There was no hurricane, though. Dad jokes.
Bad. Oof.
Anyways, use code DADS100. They will match up to $400 of your first deposit. Let's go ahead and start the regular show.
Finally.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards. With me, as always, is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drink of Bourbon. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, thank you for making us part of your day. It is going to be one show a week where we'll have a very long open as we're doing these college football picks. I hope you all don't mind it because I am enjoying this little, anytime I could go toe-to-toe against Zeke and running is not involved, I'm very happy.
Yeah, because you would not fare well against these gazelle legs.
I know. I mean, that's why I want to get in a ring with you, but I have no desire to run ever. But Zeke is a runner. You all might not know this about him. I also want to mention before we get into this whiskey, we are still accepting applications for the Great Zeke podcast dating show that Joanne Street from Russell's Reserve and Wild Turkey is going to host with me. We need those applications. Thank you to the folks over at Jack Daniels for sending us a sample of the 10-year Tennessee whiskey. This is their first 10-year age-stated whiskey in more than 100 years. This limited edition release, there was about 200 barrels of it. It is the inaugural release, so it will come out again. They expect about 24,000 bottles for this release. Design was inspired by the brand's history. It features stuff that was on the Jack Daniels age-stated bottles a century ago. This 10-year Jack Daniels, it's 97 proof, 10 years old, 80% corn, 12% malted barley, 8% rye, and the MSRP is $70. Zeke Baker, what did you think?
Well, I was just going to say, I think you could have saved yourself a lot of time and breath and called it a throwback bottle.
See, the magic is people are not going to realize that I did all that flubbing because when I edit it, it's not there. So thank you for alerting them to the fact that like I screwed that up royally.
Even with editing, I think that's going to maybe sound a little screwed and chopped.
I don't think it will.
Either way, JD 10, nose-wise, I thought it was a very freshly charred oak, but it just seems deep. Like, I don't know, whatever about this just runs deep, and I guess hung up on that, but whatever.
What do you mean by deep?
Well, you'll hear it. I'm just warning you. It gets repetitive, and I can't help it. There's also some bright fruits up under the peppery spikes, I thought. Palate-wise, this is where I really had a lot more fun with this one. And again, it seems thin, but it penetrates deep. Like it almost just felt, the fact that it was so thin made it almost like more permeable to the palate. It's got a strong oak presence that moves into a big spice. especially for the feel that it has. The spice that's there to me is oak, not rye at all. It kind of weirdly felt watery. It had an exponential flavor component to it. Also had a long wood finish that I thought was very reminiscent of eating dry rub ribs that just been smoked on low heat for forever and a day. And like once you eat that, the flavor just never leaves your palate for a day or two. And it just sat really low in the palate. It almost felt kind of weightless to a degree if you think about other pours and like viscosity and whatnot.
Is there anything you want to tell me about yourself and today? Was today different for you?
No, I got up, went to work. It's a Monday.
Just saying, all right, I'm going to spill the tea here, as the kids say nowadays. So Zeke normally does not taste in advance. You know, we both get it. We probably give ourselves about 20 or 30 minutes to taste and sniff and do whatever we have to do with the whiskey. And then we text each other like, hey, these are the two we're going to do, or this is the one we're going to do. We go off, we do our tasting, and then we get together on the Zoom. And yes, we still get on Zoom, even though we live 30 minutes from each other because, it's late and we're lazy and this is easy. But Zeke asked me what we were drinking tonight a lot earlier in the day today, so that when he got home, he could actually study these, be around these for more than just 30 minutes. These notes are a direct byproduct of Zeke having extra time. I'm not sure if I like extra time, Zeke, or not, because like those were freaking out there. But I didn't disagree with everything. I have a little bit of a different take at the end, but I think there were aspects of this that were thin, but aspects of this that were super thick and magnified at the same time. It was just different parts of the whole experience. Like the nose was not as rich as I would expect it to be, but the nose was different than Jack. If you ask somebody what the Jack nose, and I'm going to speak a little bit generalized, but there's a reason why I'm doing this with my notes. I promise all of you. So the nose, it was just different. It wasn't like super, super thick. It wasn't like a viscous nose, but you were like, that isn't the norm. I mean, there are traces of that Jack to it, but it's a completely different animal. And then you taste it, and I did not get banana. Like this did not scream banana to me like a regular Jack. This is letting me know that there's a whole bunch of different flavors that Jack Daniel's can do. And I know they're starting to experiment with the Tennessee Tasters. They're starting to experiment with some other stuff like, the way that the staves are grooved. But this is the first time they actually have something at a proof that's closer to 100, closer where those real bourbon geeks are going to start to poke their head out. I love this is the biggest teaser to me. This is Chris Fletcher and Jack Daniels saying, hey, we could do something a little different. You shouldn't just expect the same old stuff from us all the time. We can get a little crazy too. And I think this just makes me think, this whole pour makes me want to know what else Jack has up their sleeve, what else they're going to do, because if they really wanted to put out some other SKUs that aren't like Jack Tennessee Honey and Jack Apple and Jack Fire, like if they really took it, they could really be scary how good the stuff that they would have could be.
Were you giving notes? Sorry, I kind of dozed off.
Those were kind of my notes. I was not going to...
Your notes? You tasted Jack Fire in this?
No.
And Jack Honey? And Jack Apple?
Did you not?
Jack Be Quick?
Did you not listen to me? I said it's different.
I said your entire notes for this are different. Wow. John Edwards, Mr. Pay Attention to Detail here.
There's no way I could top your notes. So I decided to talk about how the release of this and the fact that it's bigger and bolder and different than regular Jack is more of a statement to me than any of the tasting notes. Is this good whiskey, Zeke? Did you like it?
I did. I mean, I thought the...
Full stop. That's fine. Me too. It's good. People should go get it. $70. It's 97 proof. It is the implication of this release that I think that is more shocking and better than any tasting note could be.
I thought it was a very unique experience in regards to the way it feels versus the flavors that just kind of drive into you. I would also say further, it's very interesting considering, a certain birthday product came out recently as well with a somewhat similar age statement and proof, I believe. I'm pretty sure one of these carries the age oak especially, and the flavors from the oak much better than the other.
Now, I haven't had the other, but breaking news, I am getting my hands on samples for us tomorrow.
And I haven't had this year's yet.
You don't care that I'm getting samples tomorrow? Not like a thank you, not even a thank you, John?
I told you thank you earlier.
No, you didn't. You didn't even know. I didn't tell you we were getting them.
Yeah, you told me over the weekend.
Oh, I did? It's all in the detail. This is detailless John today.
Well, I mean, you played golf. I'm proud for you. I'm just speaking of the previous years. And if you think about the way that kind of regardless of the proof, how the oak is expressed in a lot of the Old Forester releases, especially like Birthday, which is older, comparing to this, I just think the way it comes across to the palate and everything is just much more unique and interesting.
I agree with that. And I really just enjoy this pour. Not just because of the fact that it's different. I just like the pour.
This thing screams fall. Anyone that loves or chases toasted finished products, obviously, the barrel's probably toasted on the ends, I think, because they do all their barrels, so they don't need to include that on the packaging. But that kind of essence to me is portrayed pretty well in this product. I
would agree with the season changing. It is kind of that in between summer, in between fall. And this is like what you want to be sipping by the fire. Got a fire pit going.
I did wonder too, and I guess we'll have to, next time we catch Chris, ask, if 10 years was always the goal, or if they were, testing this over time. And then, at this point, they're like, all right, now it's where we want it to be. Or if it was just kind of ambiguous, like, let's do a 10-year. Okay, sure, why not? It came out well either way, so you can't fault them. But, you do wonder if it was strategic or, hey, time to pull them. Let's see what we got.
Well, I'll reach out to him, but I know I'll definitely see him here in a couple months, so we'll figure it out.
I'm 2 thumbs up on this all day. I did think it was kind of interesting, though. If the release was 24,000 on the day they dropped it, apparently only 300 bottles were at the gift shop in Lynchburg, which is nowhere near enough to satisfy, I'm sure, the amount of people that were in Lynchburg that day.
They like to release a lot there, though. Like, they always like to have a steady stream of something in the gift shop.
That's what I would have thought. That's why 300 seems like a super low number, honestly.
I don't know. It worked for the Greek. No?
The guy that complained about my notes being out there, you're going to throw that out, huh? Touche. Touche.
I'm a buy on this. What about you?
Yeah, all day. I've even told a few folks that were told me they were going to Lynchburg in the next few weeks. Like, well, if they decided to put any more back out that we didn't hear about, and you see them, grab me one. Yeah,
tell them to grab me one too. And definitely that Jamaican allspice taster. That's still my jam.
Oh, I'm still bigger on the, what was it? The blend thing. The one that was the
bourbon and the rye. That was a good one too.
That maybe that's up there for one of the top things I've had this year, honestly.
I love the Tennessee Tasters. I know we talked about it when we had them on, but there's a lot of good stuff coming out of Lynchburg. There's a lot of good stuff coming from the dads. So go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Please leave us an open and honest review, just like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Music City, US of A.
Cheers.
Ciao.